Y'all see that? There's a worm in there. There's another worm right there. That's got to be a good thing. What's up, Lazy Dog fam? Hope everybody out there is having an awesome day. It is Wednesday, December 14th here in South Georgia. Got a big rain shower coming through here tonight. Before that happens, I got a few things I want to get planted. Got one of our raised beds here that's now open, so we're going to do a little bed turnover. We're going to plant one thing we grow every year, and we're going to plant one thing I've never grown before. But to turn over this bed, hopefully, we're about to check, we get to use something that we've been working on for about a year now. So here's the bed we're going to be working with, one of these round Olive Garden raised beds. Had some watermelon radishes in here. Let those get to about golf ball size or a little bit bigger. We harvested most of those a video or two ago, and I got the rest out of there this morning. Got a few weeds we got to get out of there. Going to leave our irrigation system in place there. We need to get those weeds out of there, and we need to amend this a little bit before we plant. And so for the amendment part, I think we finally got some close to being finished black gold here in one of our Geobins that we can use in these raised beds now. So we've got 3 Geobins standing right now. Got a 4th right there that I'll probably put up in the next month or so. So we'll show you just kind of the progression here. This one just has pine straw in the bottom, some that we raked out of a plot that we cleaned out before we did some fall planting. I always like to put straw in the bottom of these before I start adding a lot of other stuff. Just kind of keeps a lot of the material from running out of the bottom there. So that one's just pine straw, but as we start harvesting some of these fall veggies and stuff, we'll start filling that puppy up. This one over here is the one I've been adding to recently. You can see all kind of stuff in there. Coffee grains, some vegetable scraps, cardboard, all kind of stuff in there, eggshells. So this is what I've been adding to lately, and as that one gets a little more full, we'll probably start to flip that one every month or two. And in this green bin right here, we finally have something I think we can work with. Now this may not be completely finished yet, but I think it's close enough. Looks pretty dang good to me, and having it where it's still a little chunky is actually a little bit of a benefit to me because it holds water a lot better. Some of that gin trash compost we use, although it's really good stuff, doesn't hold water well. This right here will still hold water pretty well. Now I can't remember exactly when we started this compost journey, but it seems like it was around this time last year. So it took us a whole year to get that somewhat finished compost there that I just showed you. Now I'll be honest, I haven't been the best about keeping these things flipped or keeping them watered. I do water them on occasion, but I don't probably water them as much as I should. Probably don't flip them as much as I should. Just kind of letting them do their thing here. So if you were really on top of your watering game and really flipping them on a regular basis, you could probably get some finished compost a little faster. Me, I'm just been doing it when I get time or when I think about it, and a year later we got something. Now I knew when we started this composting system here that we were never going to be able to make enough compost for all of our in-ground garden plots. That was never the goal. That's just not realistic. We don't have enough waste to generate that much compost. But I did think that we could probably generate enough compost to, you know, take care of our raised beds. We didn't have the raised beds at that time, but that was kind of a goal of mine in the future. And considering how much we have in that Geobin there, I think that is realistic. We can at least produce enough compost on our own for our raised beds. Still would have to buy it in bulk for the in-ground garden plots. But it's just been a fun process, you know, teaching the kids about, you know, recycling stuff, bringing stuff out here, dumping it in there, and just watching it break down over the months until we get what we've got now. So I don't think we're going to need a whole lot here. 5-gallon bucket should do. So we're going to fill up our trusty old dog's bucket here. Compost should work a lot better that way, putting it in this bucket as opposed to one of those Ohio State buckets. We'll get it filled up and then take it over to our plot. Still got a few little sticks in there. I'll just throw those out. Alright, so first let's do a little cleanup here. Get these stinking weeds out of here. Kind of cultivate them out of here a little bit. Scratch them out. Now I'm not going to amend this with Nature Safe 855 like I usually do for a couple different reasons. One reason, I'm out. The second reason is we put some down here before we planted those radishes, and they weren't in here very long, so the chances that those radishes burn through what we put down here, I think, are pretty low. So there still should be some decent nutrients in the soil there, and so we're not going to add any more. We're just going to add our homemade compost. All right, that side there looks pretty good. Let's get this other side. All right, we got that cleaned up pretty good there. Now I'm gonna dump this compost on there. I think what I'm gonna do is just dump the whole bucket on here, spread it out with my hand, and then kind of move it out of the way right where these drip lines are. I still want to be able to see where these drip lines are so I know where to plant my stuff in a minute. So let's get the compost. Get some on this side, get some on that side. Oh yeah, I think a 5-gallon bucket full is going to be a plenty once we spread it out here. I'm going to try to break apart a few of these chunks as we're spreading it out. Y'all see that? There's a worm in there. There's another worm right there. That's got to be a good thing. Alright, so we got that spread out pretty good there. I can still kind of see where my drip lines are. I ended up seeing about 4 or 5 worms in that stuff there. And I didn't put any worms in it except way back when it was way too hot and I didn't know what I was doing. But worms got in there somehow or another. And I can only imagine that being an added benefit. So I've got 2 things I want to try to squeeze in this round raised bed. I've got some leeks that have been in the greenhouse a while. They need to be planted. And I've got some hardneck garlic right here that a viewer sent us. So we grow leeks every year, usually in our in-ground garden, but this year we're going to try them in one of these raised beds. Usually I plant way too many leeks, and I've learned over the years that a 30-foot row of leeks is just more leeks than I can use or more leeks than I need. So we should be able to plant enough for us in this raised bed here. Tried several different varieties over the years. Tadorna and Jumper are probably 2 of my favorites. This is a variety called Rally that I've never grown before. So these leek plants here aren't the best looking leek transplants I've ever grown, but once we get them in the soil here, I think they'll do just fine. I've just been kind of nursing them along in the greenhouse there. Haven't really fed them a whole lot because I didn't have anywhere to put them. Now we do, obviously. When you're planting leeks, the main thing to remember is to plant them deep. So I've got this little stick here. I'm gonna make a deep hole down there, and I think I'm gonna put these about 6 inches apart or so. In the in-ground garden, I'd usually put them about 10 to 12 inches apart, but I think I can get away with a little closer spacing in here. So we'll grab one of these transplants out of here and then stick it way down in there. Push some soil around it. Get a few more here. It's got a decent little root system on them. Tease those apart. Get them poked way down in there. You about can't plant these things too deep. The deeper you plant them, the more edible portion of the leek you'll have come harvest time. So we got 3 right there, and I could probably squeeze in 3 more right here. I think I'm actually plant these between these drip lines instead of right beside them. These drip lines or drip tubing here seems to be putting out plenty of water, so I'm gonna give these plants a little more space and not plant it kind of right on top of the tubing. Alright, so some of those are kind of hard to see there because we planted them so deep, but I got about 18 or 19 leek transplants squeezed in that half of the bed there, a lot closer than what I normally plant them. We'll see how they do. And now for the hardneck garlic, which I've never grown personally, but I've watched a lot of videos of people growing it and read a lot about growing it. Now this particular variety here is called Spanish Roja and was sent to us by a guy named JP Alex in Texas. And JP, if you're watching, we certainly do appreciate you sending this to us and giving us a shot at trying to grow it. Evidently it grows really well for him over in Texas, so hopefully it'll do well for us here. Now we have lots of elephant garlic and lots of softneck garlic planted over there in one of our in-ground garden plots. I've got about 6 cloves of this, which I think will be perfect for that half of a raised bed there. So when comparing hardneck garlic to softneck garlic and elephant garlic, which is not a real garlic but looks and tastes like garlic, hardneck garlic is the most cold hardy of the three, and this is the type that you usually see grown way up north where it gets really, really cold. Hardneck garlic is also said to be the most flavorful as compared to softneck or elephant garlic. It's got a little more of that spicy bite to it. A lot of flavor packed in these little cloves here. Now the one downside to this stuff being really cold hardy is that it makes it difficult for us to grow way down here in the south where it doesn't get that cold. So we have to kind of trick the garlic just like we did with our softneck garlic. Put it in the fridge before we plant, kind of trick it through this little cold period or vernalization period, and then hopefully that will cause it to stratify and form individual cloves there. So when JP offered to send me this garlic, I said, has it been in the fridge, or am I going to have to put it in the fridge when I get it? So he said he had it in the fridge for about 3 months. I think I got it in the mail a couple weeks ago. As soon as I got it in the mail, I stuck it in the fridge just to kind of stay there until I was ready to plant it. So this has had a pretty decent chill time, and hopefully that means it's going to grow well for us. So I got those 6 heads broken apart, and that's what we're going to plant right there. Got a decent amount. I think we'll have plenty for that half a raised bed. Now when we planted the garlic in our in-ground garden, we laid our drip tape and we made some trenches on both sides of the tape. Decent amount of prep work to plant that much garlic. Here we're just going to stick it in the ground. The only thing I want to make sure of is that I get the root end facing down and the tip facing up. I'm going to put this about, I don't know, 4 or 6 inches apart, and the soil's pretty loose, so we're just going to kind of shove it down in there. I think I can fit 3 right there, maybe 1 right there. Just kind of cover those up, and then we'll get some more planted in between these drip lines right here. All right, so we got about 20 to 25 cloves planted on this half right here. Had some left over, as you see there. I'll probably just put that in a little baggie, take it inside, and we'll cook with some of that because it smells really, really good. Now over here where our in-ground garlic is, we have pine straw down, one for weed suppression, but mainly to keep the soil cooler longer in spring, extend our garlic growing season, and give us some larger bulbs. And so I'll probably do the same thing right here. Not sure I'll put straw over this entire bed. I don't really need it around the leeks there, but definitely going to put straw on this half where we planted that hardneck garlic. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited to see how this hardneck garlic is going to grow for us down here in South Georgia. And if for some reason it doesn't work out, just doesn't grow well, at least we will have learned something from it. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, and let me know in the comments below what you think about my compost over there that we made this past year. If you're a professional composter out there, give me a grade. What do you think I score on a scale of 1 to 10 with the stuff we made? As always, you can find product links in the description of each video. That would include the Geobins and our raised beds back here. You can also find links to all our affiliate partners. Got some coupon codes for some of those companies so you can take advantage of those discounts. Don't forget to go check out our website, lazydogfarm.com, where we've got our garden blog, recipes, hats, shirts, all kind of good stuff over there. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification button, like, and share, and we'll see you next time right here at Lazy Dog Farm.
Oh, farewell, by the beauty of your life.